All right, guys, welcome to 11.3 day 3. This is our last video of the year. Today we're going to continue simplifying rational expressions, but today we might have to factor both the numerator and the denominator and then simplify. So it's going to be a little more work today, but this is the finale here. So just to recap, there are three types of factoring. There is the GCF. If they have a factor in common, you divide it out. There is the MA table, guess and check for trinomial. And then there is the difference of squares, if it's something squared minus something squared. Okay, so number one, first of all, there is a typo, and let's fix that right away. This should be a 4. And this should be a 3. Please change that right away. So in the numerator, it looks like a GCF type, where the common factor of these guys is a 2 and an x. And then if you actually divide it out of both, you're left with 1x minus 2. Okay, and that's GCF. Now in the denominator, it's a trinomial, which is when we do MA table factor by grouping. So let's make our MA. We need two numbers that add to the middle, which is 3, multiplied to the product of the first and last, which is negative 10. So what are those two numbers that multiply to negative 10 but add to 3? And that's 5 and negative 2. And remember, we give them both x's. And then we plug them in to replace the middle term, and then we factor by grouping. Okay, so when we write it out, it's x squared plus 5x minus 2x minus 10. And now we factor by grouping each pair. So these guys both have a 1x we can divide out. And when we divide them both by x, we're left with x plus 5. These guys we can both divide by negative and a 2. And if you divide these both by negative 2, you're left with 1x plus 5. Okay, and then remember, if they have a common factor, you divide that out, and the leftovers go here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write up here. So when we factored this, we got x plus 5 and x minus 2. Okay, now the fun part, what cancels? Looks like they both have an x minus 2. So then everything that's left is your final answer. Final answer we'll write down here is 2x over x plus 5. Nothing to cancel there. Done. See, I just got that from here. All right, number 2. Let's start with the numerator. What type of factoring is this? I would say that it's a difference of two squares. So this is the one where you square root them both, and one's plus and one's minus. So it's x and x, and it's 6 and 6, and one's plus and one's minus. Okay, what about the denominator? This one I would say is a GCF, because what do 9 and 54 both divide by? They both divide by 9. And if you divide them both by 9, you're left with x minus 6. All right, factor any common factors. Looks like the x minus 6's cancel. And then, yeah, anything left is our final answer. X plus 6 over 9. All right, if you guys want to stop and start the homework, this would be a great spot. If you would like to see one more, I will finish number 3 for you. So number 3 on the top, what do you guys think? I would say difference of squares. because you can square root them both. So difference of squares is easy. That's the x and the x. And then the square root of 16 is a 4 and a 4. And then one's plus and one's minus. Okay, that one's done. But unfortunately, the denominator is a trinomial, which is the long MA table. So this one we got to do MA. Two numbers that add to 5 multiply to 4. What are those numbers? So multiply to 4, add to 5 would be 4 and 1. And don't forget to give them both an x, and this is what we plug in to replace the middle term. So it's 1x squared plus 4x plus 1x plus 4. And I probably could have switched the order here so they group better, but it's going to work just fine this way. All right, factor by grouping. What can we divide out of these? A 1x. And if you divide out a 1x from both, you're left with 1x plus 4. Now, these guys have nothing in common but a 1. And if you divide out a 1, it's still just x plus 4. And now they both have an x plus 4, so we take that out. And the second parenthesis is the leftovers, x plus 1. Okay, so that's what goes up here. X plus 4 times x plus 1. All right, after all that work, we get to cancel any common factors. And these two are the same, so they cancel. So final answer is this. X minus 4 over, running out of room, x plus 1. All right, nice job, you guys. This is as hard as these get. Homework is on the next page. Thanks for watching.